What's going on, Gator Nation? This is Nick Delatorre with Florida Victorious. Today we are joined by Florida Gator freshman infielder, shortstop infielder, Brendan Lawson. Brendan, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Uh, Canada, not known for baseball. How did you get started, I guess, growing up? Why not hockey, and how young did you start playing baseball?
Yeah, so of course I did start playing hockey, just like every other Canadian kid.
Naturally.
My dad played baseball in college in Canada and always loved the game and just introduced it to, me and my brother, my younger brother, just by like playing catch in the backyard. And I loved it as soon as we started doing it. But I also played hockey and loved that a lot. And then eventually, when I was like 14, 15, I was doing both at the same time. And my parents were like driving all around the city, all around the province, trying to get me to these different games like hockey in the winter and then turn over to baseball. And then I decided I wanted to kind of pursue baseball. As I got older, I just started to like it a lot more. I didn't want to hang out in a cold rink. So, and I just love the game. So that's how it kind of started through there.
What does travel baseball? I remember talking to AJ Puck, and he was from I think Iowa, and they called it 2-1 baseball, and they had to play so many games because their summer and their spring was short that they would start with a 2-1 count, and I was like, that's not even baseball. What did it look like? Because I know as soon as it starts snowing, you're probably not playing in the snow. What did travel baseball look like growing up?
Yeah. So it was usually the season would go late April, if you're lucky, maybe early May. I would say it would really get going. And then by the time August kind of comes around, you're starting to wrap it up, and then you'd have a tiny little window of fall ball.
Hmm.
But the thing that I was trying to explain to some of my teammates when I got down there was that we don't really do high school baseball. So it's just not really competitive, and most of the players who are serious about playing baseball just play with their travel organizations all
Hmm.
year round, and then you'd play in a little local loop throughout. I'm trying to think throughout that April to August period, along with going
Hmm.
to the states for like travel tournaments. But it's a little bit of a different setup, and but it's really good. It's the same sort of deal, and you get the same sort of benefit out of it as playing on a regular high school team.
Yeah, I think here, at least in Florida, it's kind of like everyone plays for their high school because that's like the thing to do. But really, your most competitive baseball is going to be the travel ball team you're on. So you were in Canada through your junior year, and then you went to P27. Can you tell us a little bit about that decision to go to P27? What is P27, and what was that like?
Yeah, so I actually graduated high school when I was 17, which gave me kind of this opportunity just because of where my birthday is in December, and we do schooling years like January to December. There's no cutoff like in
Hmm.
August with the high schools, so kind of had this opportunity where I could really set myself up for success in college in my first year by trying to get stronger, grow up, learn how to live on my own for an extra year. And that's kind of how P27 came about. It was becoming kind of increasingly common that
Hmm.
Canadian players would come down to these prep schools, which is what P27 is. It's one of the prep schools in the NAA conference, which has teams, Florida teams like TNXL and A3 as well, where a couple of our other freshmen are from. And we we started in September, or I had to come a little bit late just because I was wrapping some stuff up in Canada, and I lived in an apartment complex just behind the facility, and everything was there for us. It was just I wasn't doing any school. It was just baseball and getting stronger and kind of learning how to live on my own. And it was It was unreal. It was really
You almost get
helpful. And
the taste of being like a professional ball player. Like you're not getting paid, but like you don't have to worry about a test or an exam. You just kind of wake up, eat breakfast, and go to the cage.
yeah, exactly. I think it made the transition to college so much smoother. Um, just because, I was already used to, I mean, we have a dining hall. Honestly, it was like there's more resources in college than there were for me the year before. So it was so easy adjusting to living on my own again in college. And I'm just, grateful for the opportunity to get to be able to go down there. It was awesome.
Tell me a little bit about there's here in the states we've got all kinds of U16, U17, U18 with Team USA, but you had the chance to play for Team Canada, and what is it like to be able to have your country across your chest, and how much of a different feeling is that to be able to represent Canada?
Yeah, I mean, um, it was just unreal. Obviously, it took a lot of pride, and I take a lot of pride in being from Canada. Kind of everywhere I go, whether I'm down in Florida or when I was playing across teams in the like travel circuit, and it was just really, really cool. When we would go into like a world qualifier game, and we have Canada across our jersey, or we're traveling through the airport and we're all wearing our polos and issued gear. It just meant a lot to represent, the country, and yeah.
And then what was the recruitment process like? So you said you traveled to the states a lot, playing travel ball. Obviously, your opportunity with Team Canada. What was recruiting like? When did Florida kind of come into the picture, and what other visits maybe did you take?
Yeah, it was interesting because I had a few calls that were kind of set up in my 15U year travel year going into 16U, and it was just a couple phone calls like, hey, just from schools all over, just saying, hey, we're going to come see you in the summer in 16U, and then it didn't really turn into that much because um, there was a long winter after that, and then um, when I kind of got into the year, we would just go down. We played in the WWBA. I played in the feature games, and it was kind of around that point, like WWBA feature games, that just kind of blew up um, and took off. It was like I wasn't talking to really anyone, and then all of a sudden, I was talking to a lot of different programs, and it was kind of weird. I felt like a receptionist or something. It was
A little
funny.
overwhelming at first.
Yeah, yeah, but and that's where Chuck Drawman saw me at the future games, and I got into contact with him. And I honestly think right away, once I talked to him, I was like, "Yeah, this is probably where I'm going to end up going." Just the way he pitched the program, and obviously the history and the success that Sully and everyone has had. It's hard to kind of compare it to any other program in the country, right? So. Um, and then I ended up I took a visit at UNC and NC State as well, and then I finally came down here. I think August or early September of 2022, and then a couple days later, I pulled the trigger and haven't looked back since. So yeah,
That's smart. So P-27 was in North Carolina, right?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay. So I'm trying to like piece together, like, oh, that makes sense. NC State and UNC are kind of right there. But smart of Chuck and Sully to get you down here in August, September. A kid from Canada, you get down here and you're like, oh, this is nice, warm weather. Maybe even a little too warm in August and September. What has it been like for you since you got to campus? You're playing infield. Florida obviously gets Colby Shelton back and a bunch of really talented infield. So there's a lot of competition. What has the acclimation to college been for you and going through fall ball?
Yeah, I think, I've really just taken it as try and learn everything as possible. There's some older guys, especially in the infield, and like Colby and Bobby, and I've really just tried to take in all the information I can, guys who have proven themselves in college. And Yeah, really just learn as much as possible. That's kind of the main thing. It's fun though because there's a lot of talented infielders that we have, and it's cool like um, the competition that we do in practice and all that. And I feel like I've just learned a lot just being around everyone and working with Chuck.
How do you like the? I've talked to a lot of other guys, guys from other teams who I knew from recruiting. How do you like the infield at Florida? It seems to be one of the most popular infields in the SEC.
Like the actual dirt.
Yeah, the actual dirt, the way the
Oh,
ball plays on the field.
oh yeah, it's like turf. It's awesome. You rarely get a bad hop, if ever. It's one of the best playing surfaces I've ever played on for sure.
Well, you just set yourself up now. If you catch a ball on your heel, now it's gonna be like, well, that was he played it wrong because he said
Yeah,
the field's great.
true.
Um, what are your kind of expectations? I'm here wearing my College World Series polo from one of the times I went. That's kind of the standard at Florida. Is that something that even as a freshman, coming in, like, hey, our goal is to get to Omaha every year, and is that unspoken or even spoken about from the coaching staff or in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I mean that. Of course, that's the goal every year for a program like Florida. I mean, there is a sense of everyone knows that that's the goal, but it is also spoken about.
Mhm.
Um, every once in a while, some guys talk about their experiences going to Omaha, but of course, that is the goal every year to be the last team.
Mhm.
So yeah,
For everyone listening, Brendan is a righty thrower but hits lefty. Did you have a chance? I know Pierce was a little bit limited, but did you have a chance to face Pierce Kapala? I know at 6'7" or however tall Pierce is, in that arm slot, it might be a little tough for lefties.
no, I didn't get to. That would have been fun though. That would be interesting at bat for lefties. There was a couple guys coming back and were like, "Yeah, that's tough to see from all the way up there."
Yeah, like it's coming from like behind your head.
Yeah, yeah, but I definitely would like to face him at some point just to see what it's like.
Who were some of the pitchers that maybe either you got the best of, or you thought like, hey, this has been a really good test?
Um, I think um, Jake Clementi was really solid. That was definitely a tough at bat. I got him like once, but a couple of the other times he's just super heavy fastball,
Hmm.
and a good off speed that plays off it. Aiden King also is a really tough at bat. I got him once as well. He hung a slider or something 0-2, but he's going to be really really good for us this year. Um,
As a former baseball player, love a hanging curve or slider on 0-2.
yeah,
If you've got me down 0-2 and you want to just leave something out over the middle of the plate, thank you.
yeah, exactly.
What do you have when you're the team goals, but personally, do you set personal goals for the season, whether it's playing time at bats or anything? Do you have personal goals for your freshman year?
I'd say just help the team in any way I can. Whether that's on the field or off the field, just kind of doing anything I can to help us get to Omaha. And like I said, being the last team, that's the goal. And whatever everyone has to do to kind of to get there, that's all that matters. So
And then one question we have, the fans always want to know: do you have a favorite jersey? They've got like orange tops, blue tops. They've got the script jerseys,
I think I just like the white ones.
the
Um,
white with the script across the chest.
Yeah, I got to wear those on the official, and they're so comfortable. I mean, I'm sure they're all comfortable, but
Yeah.
I just like the clean look of them. I think they're really nice. So that's definitely my favorite.
I've always thought those kind of look like the Dodgers jerseys because it's got the script across the chest and then it's an orange number in front, like the Dodgers have. Their whole jersey's blue and it has a red number in front. So I thought they always remind me of the Dodgers jerseys.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
All right, this is we've reached the part where I want to have a little fun with you. This is it American or is it Canadian? And we're going to run through
Okay.
this. We'll see how you do. We'll start the quiz, and you just tell me when to go, and I'll put your answers in.
Okay.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, American.
Got it.
For sure. Boston, right? New
Yeah,
England, is
big
that how
time
it
in
started?
Boston.
Yeah.
Big time in Boston. Wayne Gretzky.
Come on. Canadian.
Listen.
Come on.
Hopefully these get harder.
Yeah.
Tim Hortons.
Come on. Canadian.
I haven't been to Tim Hortons. I need to.
100%. 100%.
Is the
That was the
city
first
American or Canadian?
Canadian. That's where I am.
That's your hometown.
Yeah. Yeah. Tim Hortons is a must. That was the first spot I hit when I got back.
Oh, that's funny. I should have asked that. Wawa, American or Canadian?
American. Has to be.
Really? See, that would have tripped me up. I would have thought Canadian. You're gonna ace this quiz. Ryan Gosling.
I think he's Canadian. Is he? I might
Final
be
answer.
wrong. Yeah.
Spot on. Twinkies.
Ooh, American, I think.
That seems very American.
Yeah.
High overprocessed, a lot of sugar. Sesame Street, American or Canadian?
I think it's Canadian.
Really?
Oh no, got me.
Nice wholesome
I used to
American
watch
show.
that. Yeah, I used to watch that growing up, so I thought maybe
This one might be too old for you. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I don't even know what this is.
That makes me feel bad. It makes me feel old. I watched this when I was a kid. It was on Nickelodeon.
Do you wanna take this one?
I'm gonna go with American. Wrong.
Oh,
Wrong. It was on Nickelodeon. Now you're dragging me into this, and now I'm looking bad. Krispy Kreme, American or Canadian?
I think American.
We're gonna go American.
Yeah, we just got one of those up here, so I'm assuming it's not.
They're trying to fight against Tim Horton. I don't even know who this actress is.
I don't know who that is either.
All right, we've got too many questions. We did enough. we did enough. What you saying you went back to Tim Hortons? That reminded me. What do you miss about home?
Say just my family the most.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously I miss like Tim Hortons and stuff like that, but definitely just my friends and my family. It's a long way away, but it makes it even better when I come back, and it's really nice to see them, especially around the holiday season. So yeah.
Well, Brendan, we are getting closer and closer to February 14th for that first game. We want to thank you for coming on the show, and we can't wait to see you and the Gator baseball team out at Condren Ballpark. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.